definitely within reach, she will make sure of it. College ain't cheap and she been saving since the baby showers. Extra shifts and odd jobs are stored in Folgers cans under the sink. Who don't know how to keep something stored away for a rainy day that Uncle Sam can't touch? She knows the power of keeping her left hand out of her right hand's business. A little arthritis ain't gonna keep her from being a flame, a bear, a shaman, a chief. Methotrexate and chemo ain't gonna stop her from being in prayer. Last to sleep and spitting heat from between her teeth. Cause I mean, what mother ain't ready to start a war over her children and their dreams?
Give it up for Jessica Young, reading from her book, Ain't No Woman Like Me, which is also next door. The book is regularly $20, but it's a fundraiser, so it's $600 tonight. So if you buy like 30, then we in the game, right? Okay. Next up to the mic. This is one of my favorite writers. All of them are my favorite, every single one of them. But this man wrote a book called Friends My Poems Gave Me. And he is just a fantastic writer. You still in the house? Yes. Please put your hands together for Charlie Becker.
So I retired recently after teaching for 40 years. All 40 of those years I was in elementary school. So when I decided I would work for the Living Writer series, I realized I was going to be in a high school classroom. I was really nervous. But it was really the most satisfying experience I think I've had ever as a teacher, because there were two reasons. The classroom teachers that I worked with, Patrick O'Donnell at Crochet and Deidre Harris at West Hollywood, they had prepared their classes for us to come in, and the students were so interested and respectful and listened to everything. But after I showed them my book and read poems, then we asked them to write poems too. So I would give a prompt, and then allow them 15 minutes, 20 minutes to write their own poems. And when they were done, little by little, they would come up and share their poems. And the poems they wrote were just brilliant. They were just so interesting and so moving. And sometimes the kids were too shy, so they would ask their friend to read it for them, they'd ask me to read it for them, and it just was just the greatest experience doing that with them. So one of the prompts that we gave them was write a poem about your favorite superhero, and this is the poem that I got for myself. I wanted biceps, big like yours, with a hula girl tattoo who danced as I flexed, and forearms of steel, real threats to the bullies who chased and haunted me. I wanted your strength, your rich green spinach. I'd watch you squeeze open the can with your bare, macho hands, swallow it all in one gulp, and then take Brutus down without sweating a drop, or losing your gritty grin, scratchy, manly chuckle. I wanted your punch, Popeye. I needed you to teach me how to defend myself. And in the end, I longed to be your forever buddy. Puff, too, he lived by the sea and did magic tricks for little boys the way dragons can. We, fearless, frolicked in the autumn mist, best friends, and sailed free on a billow boat, far from taunts or cuts of mean kids who didn't care for fantasy fun or innocence. I needed you, Puff, your spiked tail and commanding roar, for myself, every time I left home, thinking I was all alone. Oh, and I lived the life of Superman long before I knew Clark Kent. Me hiding behind a secret, powering up to look like someone I was not. Stealing my face when emergency called, for me to save myself again and again. I needed you, Superman, your rock-square chin, your smiling sureness. Each day as my world seemed in danger of being crushed. But in the end, I found Fred Rogers. Me hopelessly fearful like Daniel's striped tiger, wondering where my next breath would ever come from. Mr. Rogers, he welcomed us all into his neighborhood, looked me in the eye and said I made his day a special one just by being me. I put on his cardigan, wore his navy kids, and took from him a voice, soft, sincere, for my own, to use the way a real hero simply must.
Here we go for Charlie Becker. Vince My Poems gave me Living Writer Series author. I want to point out two things before we get to this next author. First of all, is Kaylin in the house? Is Miss Youngblood in the house? Yeah. All right. But before I call you up, I want to point out two things. First of all, in the silent auction, we have this very lovely baskets. I'm going to get my Vanna Black on right now. And the basket has so much cool stuff in it. There's some wafers with cocoa. There's some pita chips. There's some drink in here. There's a USB LED lamp. And a book from every single Living Writer series.